do something a little different today. Today we're going to take a little bit of step back in time, way back in time, to prehistoric time. So, that being said, we're going to take a little history lesson to a place that I know well, and hopefully you enjoy it, and maybe we can learn a couple of things together. So, bear with me as we go to Odessa Meteor Crater. Okay, just to give you the general layout of the area. Property starts there and then works its way over, and then this path I'm on, this goes all around, and then the crater starts here. The crater's about 500 feet wide, or 0.1 miles, and goes to a depth of about 6 feet currently. It filled in over many thousand years. This is just the view from the side here. The noise you're hearing in the background is that pumping station you see right in the middle there, and several pump jacks running it. This is the crater. Got all kinds of wildlife out here, both plant and animal. Lots of rattlesnakes out here, so you gotta watch where you step. So this is the view from the north side of it, and then they say that the fragments from this crater that were had many contents, iron mostly, spread out over a 2-mile range. So it's quite an impact. One of nature's great wonders out here in West Texas. Little known fact, but about 50,000 years ago, during the last ice age, and a meteor hit the earth here, leveled this entire area, crushed about 100,000 tons of rock, and was expelled out into the atmosphere in this area. The meteor was about 90% iron, and the other 10% was other various elements, and it was made its impact here. So I'm going to just give you the general overview and quick tour and show you around, do a view from it, what it looks like from this area. So stand by for a second. One of the other things that's not very well known about here is this area right here is about 17 feet deep and about 70 feet wide. But this is actually a second crater that was impacted here at the same time that the first one did, but it was only smaller. So you see the information here. Get a view over here. You can read it right quick. But it says, if you can't read it, this small crater, 17 feet deep, 70 feet wide in diameter, was completely filled in and was not discovered until the magnetometer that's used to detect magnetic fields was used. This crater was found by a small mass. In this crater was found a small mass of meteorites hitting Earth without sufficient speed to vaporize. An estimated 6 tons of meteorites were found in the Earth under this crater. So, pretty good sized crater, pretty good sized meteorite that hit there. Something else. One of nature's wonders. Reminds us how small we really are. Okay, one of the characters out here. This bush right here. It's called chrysa bush. Makes one of the things that they use, kind of a rubbery type substance, telephone poles, make them waterproof. And over here, one of our many favorites. This is another form of yucca that we've seen before. The one we looked before is narrow leaf. This one is Spanish dagger, or also known as Joshua tree. But you can see a major difference in how the leaves there. Very broad, very thick, and you can, it's about 6.5 feet tall, give or take. And these things grow everywhere also, and they are very good for cordage also, and they also yield soap and many other things, soap, food, medicine, so forth, so on. And this is just one of the many things of the desert. One of the yucca plants. This is another species of it, and one of the great plants of the desert. So stand by and we'll do some more. So going down into the crater, looking around here, this area here, below me here is where they did a bit of an excavation survey right here. It's a long time ago. This is several decades ago. And you can see the crater. This is slightly down into the crater now. And lots of good plants in here, and lots of wildlife. Nice trail to walk on. So this is part of the National Natural Landmark area. And then we're actually standing inside the crater. And there's one of our narrowleaf yucca that we talked about earlier. Got the stalk coming out of it. So let's move on. This area here is called an upthrust. Goes all the way across there. And upthrust of rock strata. Goes all the way across because when the meteorite impacted, it hit kind of at a shallow angle. But what happened here is all this area here was blown out into the atmosphere and over about a 2-mile area. So I got a sign here and I'll let you read it right quick. And if you can't read it, I'll read it for you. This is upthrust rock strata. This massive limestone formation normally lies 22 feet below the level of the plain. The huge force of the meteorite impact lifted parts of it 50 feet above its original position, and being lifted was shoved laterally and folded back. So what that says is this whole area here, when the meteorite hit, took this and moved it that way. So pretty cool. We're going down into the crater. So let's see what we found in the bottom of the crater. The Odessa meteor crater. We're about 10 feet below the surface of the regular plane, and we're just standing right in the middle of it. And we'll give you a quick look around. And we come to this object right here. In 1940-41, a long time after the crater was discovered, this shaft was drilled down into the ground to see if they could find large fragments of the meteor that hit. They didn't find any of the fragments out here in the rim of the crust, so they had to dig down. They found a few, and they're on display in several places and in the museum of her. So this is just part of it, but this was drilled by the WPA under supervision of the University of Texas. So the shaft is 165 feet deep. It was an elevator shaft. There is a stairway there. It goes down into the ground, several 165 feet. So this is down at the very bottom of the crater. Odessa meteor crater. There's another trench, an exploration trench, dug in 1939, 1941 in this trench right here, and we're on the side of the crater now. And during this time, they found something interesting. It was inside the crater. They found a fossilized tooth of a prehistoric elephant, a mammoth. Fossilized tooth of a mammoth in this crater here when they did the exploration. So there were several of these trenches all around. This is just one of them. So this is just under the rim of the crater now. So fascinating stuff. Mother Nature telling us how things go. Here's one of the fascinating plants desert in West Texas. This one right here is called the crown of thorns plant, also known. Used to call it, when I was young, we used to call them bramble bushes. But the reason they call this the crown of thorns plant is due to history of the biblical history of the crown of thorns. It was placed on Jesus' head when he was crucified. They believe that this was one of the bushes used to make the crown of thorns. So zoom in here a little bit. Got some long, nasty thorns on it. You can see them real well. But this grows everywhere in West Texas. But that's what they believe. That's how this plant got its name. Right beside there, you can see right over here on the ground, that's called buffalo gourd, and it does have many uses, and in some parts of it are edible. So we'll get into that one later. Show you the things going on about it. So that's pardon my camera. I gotta adjust things here. There we go. So, and this is on the upswing of the crater. So this is part of the Odessa meteorite. This big chunk right here weighs 70 pounds. And I'll give you a size of it. This is a pencil right out there beside it, so you can give it a general size of it. This is just one fragment of it, but this fragment is about 90% iron, and to prove it, this is a magnet, and this is a magnet attaching to a meteorite. You can hear the metal clink in it. So, chunk of iron from outer space. There you go. And this one right here is from Argentina, also iron. And you can see my magnet here. Strong magnet. This one came from in Argentina. This little chunk right here is 197 pounds. That's a pretty good sized chunk. So that's some interesting stuff right there. But this is part of it that hit in the crater. This has been Bear again. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of one of the natural wonders of the world out here that hit an event that happened in prehistoric times almost 63,000 years ago. So it's a pretty significant event. And it's one of the parts of West Texas that not many people know about. So, with that, I'll leave you with a short tour. This has been Bear. Y'all take care. God bless. And we'll see y'all again pretty soon. Thanks for joining me, and I'll leave y'all with a quick view of the crater.